Good morning, friends. Welcome. We're painting toys. Hello there, Scarabost. Well, it's a cool week this week because it is Black Friday. As you've just immediately talked about there, Scaraboss, well done. I did. I bought the black and red dice, which were on $20. I bought the new Wanderer Preacher. I bought Priestess Percival, and I bought one of my models that I haven't got, which is Lola Wen. I don't have Lola Wen, so I bought that. Alexa, airbrush off. What's happening, Moss? You want the dog out? Good? Give a thumbs up. Dog's coming. I have, yes. I've pre-ordered everything else. Everything that's available in the game is coming already. So Black Friday is kind of usually a pretty sedate sale for me, as I have all of the content coming already. It's a good time to be a Kingdom Death player. There's a lot of consistency of content, although you could argue that the consistency of that content is at the detriment of the content that's already been paid for. Which is an observation that I would make. However, the quality of the releases that have come out in the last 2 years, Gambler's Chest, Frog Dog, Black Knight, have all been really, really good. So I think if we're patient, what we're going to get is going to be awesome. Just when we get it is the question. But the problem is for, let's say, conservatively 75% of the people that own Kingdom Death stuff, they haven't played it. They haven't played it all. So, what are they whinging for? You need to play your game before you can complain that you haven't got more stuff. No, that's not fair. I'm not being fair there. People have paid money, they're entitled to the product that they've paid for, but I guess it's more of an observation that people shouldn't be buying stuff if they're not going to use it. Frog Dog's great. I highly recommend Frog Dog. The model was also one of my least favourite. It's grown on me. The Frog Dog. When I painted it, I quite enjoyed it, and I didn't expect that I would. But yeah, it's definitely one of the more uncomfortably proportioned figures. Yeah, look, most people, I think, that own the game, that's why I said conservatively 75% of the people that own the game would not have played all of the stuff. I mean, I understand time is getting harder and harder the older I get. And I don't even have kids, so I can't imagine what having kids would be like for your Kingdom Death playing career. The gear binders, the binders were just normal folders from Officeworks, but the coin sleeves is where it's at, and those are a coin sleeve from a brand called BCM, which you can buy on Amazon or similar, I assume. And you need to get the right size. I can't remember exactly what the right size is because I bought 50 when I first bought in, and I actually, quite funnily, I bought 2 binders and enough gear sleeve holders for like both of those, and I bought that because I bought it for my mate Sheldon, who I'd started playing the game with. I was like, he can have one for his gear, and he decided that he didn't want it. He was going to stick with the organisation in the box. And then, as more stuff's come out, I've actually needed 2. So, it's ended up working out quite well for me. So yeah, there was a huge Black Friday sale, and there was also an update which has my most anticipated expansion. I know Campaigns of Death's going to be great. Oh yeah, they're A4. Fit 20 gear cards to a page, 4 across, 5 down. Tally, that is excessive. That is exceptionally excessive. But I understand. So this is I brought my Screaming Antelope over so I could try and replicate it a little bit, but I've got no fucking idea what colour that is. I painted this like 6 years ago, 5 years ago, long time. I know what that is. I know what those are. I know what that is. I'm pretty sure I can do that, but this is just out there, so kind of shooting in the dark here. I'm going to add some purplish tones, but I can do that with the airbrush. So I think I'm going to go to a yellow and then maybe a whitish colour. I don't... It could be deck tan. You know what? You might be bang on there. I reckon that is deck tan. You have hit the jackpot there, son. Deck tan. Fuck, I haven't used that colour in forever. I used to use it on everything. I've got to find the fucker now. Oh, you know, I don't think I've got any. I think I ran out and I didn't replace it because I forgot that I used it for everything. Alright, I can replicate deck tan, I think. I don't have a VOD on it, no time stop, unfortunately. But that's okay. My style has evolved a fair bit since then. That looks pretty deck tannish. Just realised I haven't got my palette on. Whoa! Boo. The Abyssal Woods expansion was, they did a grand overview of it. And it looks like it's in a really weird place for Kingdom Death in terms of the content. It sort of doesn't feel like it aligns with the vibe of the game. If you've observed the update, you'll know what I'm talking about, but I'll just talk about some speculation there. Yeah, it's my most anticipated expansion, has been since the day it was announced. The Flower Witch is one of my favourite models. I think the Lotus Knight, the Spiral Knight, they all look really crazy cool. Yeah, so my theory is that the 4 survivors that you are starting the Abyssal Woods with, the campaign with, as it were, are actually trapped in a dream, because the game has all of this stuff about the eternal dreamer and saviors which come through dreams. You can pick up a nightmare sword in the dream, all this other stuff. So I reckon they're all saviors trapped in a dream, and so it's that sort of allows you to play with the fairy tale vibe in a in a very cool way. And I love the fairy tale vibe. I think it's just going to be absolutely stunning. Still a few years away though, unfortunately. But as long as we have a regular drip feed of content coming out, I am going to be happy. G'day, No Mana Man. Yes, big goat. And speaking of new content, we have this guy, the Nukealope. Over the last 3 or 4 weeks, I have recorded like 12 hours of content with Bra. So if you haven't seen that, we recorded content specifically for the Black Friday sale and went through and talked about a variety of things. The first thing we did was a review of The Gambler's Chest 2 years on, a retrospective, which was really cool. We did that with tennis, just for people that have not got The Gambler's Chest and are thinking about it, which is also available on the sim now, so easy way to get into the game if that is what you're interested in. Then we did another one where I rated all of the expansions, as did Bra, within their nodes against each other to provide a node ranking. And then the last video, which was just Bra and I, we ranked all of the white box content, which is this content that I'm painting right now, and talked about its value overall. And this particular one, the Nukealope and vignettes in general, I think is excellent white box content. I'm very excited for this one. It's just, I have this little, I guess, concern with Kingdom Death when I'm heavily invested, heavily invested, and I love it, and I feel very passionately about it, and I want other people to experience the joy that I've experienced. However, I don't ever want to have it not feel exciting when I play it, and so I've sort of limited myself to a couple of campaigns a year. I don't want to play all year. I don't want to spend my whole time playing Kingdom Death because I will burn out and then I will not be interested in playing, and all of this money and all of this content that I have will go to waste. So rather than doing that, what I've decided, I decided this a little while ago, that I'll only play campaigns, get a couple of campaigns a year. And that's generally going to sync up with when we get new content. So I did my playthroughs of the campaign with the Red Witches and the Pariah. I did a couple of campaigns, which was great. Very much enjoyed it. And that's going to do me for this year. So I'm hesitant to pull out all of my stuff and do this showdown, because I think what's going to happen is I'll go, oh yeah, I want to play a campaign now. And maybe that's okay, you know, if I feel that way, great. But I just don't want to lose the joy. Don't want to lose the majesty. I have played the Squires campaign. It's on film. You can go and watch it. I did a much better job than Bra. Poor guy. Basically crushed him on the game for a few months. We have a few projects. I was feeling the other day, I was feeling a little bit overwhelmed. I don't often feel overwhelmed. I'm usually pretty relaxed. But I was thinking to myself, oh, I've got so many projects that I want to do, and so many things that I want to spend my time on. And I just wasn't feeling like I was making any headway in them at all. So that was not a fun feeling. But I've managed to move through that for the moment, partly because I have had all of my stuff for my next big diorama arrive. So not all of it, I'm still waiting on some 3D printed stuff. But yeah, that's one thing I've got on my plate, is my next diorama, which is going to be exciting. And I'll show the models off because they're sitting up there a little bit later on. But then I also had Grim Coven arrive, which is absolutely crazy. The models are so fun. For board games figures, they're like really good. Yeah, Dinotopia is the campaign. This is a Chimera. It's sick. For board games figures, they are stunning. Yeah, let's show off the models while we're here. Look, it's unlikely that we'll have a diorama in time for Crimson, but never say never. Never say never. Alright, so we got this guy's Larlock. He's a little chameleon skink. Cool. We got this chick, Ixtaka. Fine. Tonatua. Little monkey on top. Awesome. And then we got this guy, Ancopter. One of the best models. This one, probably unobjectively the best model. Trisbesticon. Sick model. Great paint job too by Calvo, I think. Oh no, that's Lazaro. Great. Calvo did one as well, I think. This one, which is sick. Quetzalcoatl. Coatl. This is Miriam. I don't know what that is, but there you go. And then this one, which is the big one, which can't even fit on the screen, it's called Koyakaska. Look at that. It's got a chick riding a thing. So the next step for me is to purchase or to assemble the models. And I got myself this thing, which you can't really see, but this is the base for the diorama. So it's going to be another circular one, which is exciting. I've got a Lazy Susan as well, which I might put it on so it rotates. But yeah, I'm going to build quite a jungly vibe, obviously, lizard men. So yeah, so I'm pretty pumped for that. But the thing is, it's so much work. Like, to do one of those is so much work. And so I'm sitting there thinking, oh, I've got to start that. And then Grim Coven arrived, and I have a rule that I only play painted models on my channel for playing games. And to play Grim Coven, you need to paint like 25 models. Okay. Then I've got Nukealope vignette, which has just arrived, that I need to paint all these little guys. So this is an Austin Stone Smasher. Needs some gut filling before I paint him. This chick, her name's Monday. I need to fix her. She's got another bad guy behind her, or inky thing. And then these two, who are sick, which is Ashboom, and whatever this guy's name is, but they're awesome. Those figures are sensational. So I'm looking forward to painting them. But to play the vignette, I need to have those all fully painted. So there's 4 or 5 more models to paint. I still haven't finished this. It's close, but it's not finished. So I need to do that. And then I've still got one figure from Kingdoms Forlorn that I need to paint that's been sitting here for ages, which is this guy, the awesome Panzer Dragon. And it's a sick model. So I need to paint that. And then my mate Gav dropped off a commission that he wants me to do, which is a Marnius Calgar or something. What is he? I know, Rebote Gilman. He wants me to do a commission on this. He wants me to paint that. So there's a lot of stuff to paint. So I was feeling a bit overwhelmed. But I have a saying that I like, which is you eat the elephant one bite at a time. So I just thought I'll just start something and we'll get into it. Then I've also got to do my top 10 videos for the year for board games. And then I've got Crimson coming up, so I've got to spend some of my free time organising stuff for that. So it was just been a lot, feeling like a lot. But the key was just getting started, just get the ball rolling, glue some little guys together. The diorama for Crimson is not going to happen. I'm thinking I'm just going to assemble the figures over the next little while, and then after Crimson I take a few weeks off to recharge the batteries. So I figure I might aim to get really stuck into that around then. So my focus for the next little while is probably on this, finishing the 7 Dwarves, finishing the vignette so I can record a playthrough of the vignette, and that's it. I do think it is easy to feel that way. I used to feel a lot more like that when I was doing army painting. It reminds me of I've got to paint 30 models before this event on the weekend, and you just feel, oh, how the fuck am I ever going to get that done? I've been really good, thank you. Yeah, my work has been wonderful, very enjoyable at the moment, doing a good job, enjoying the day-to-day. The house that Mossy and I live in, great. We like living here. We've been getting in the pool the last couple of days, which has been nice. I hated the pool when we got it. I still don't love all of the maintenance I have to do, but it's been very nice after a couple of swelteringly hot days to just relax in the pool for a little bit. So that's nice. Been playing some wonderful games. friend Whaley's coming up next weekend. Next season of Stranger Things just released, which I'm watching at the moment. You know, just good times. Oh, you're going to the gym. Yeah, it's just good. Good. How are you going? Season 4 is great. I rewatched it all in the lead up. That's why I haven't finished season 5 yet, because I was watching season 4. Yeah, the pool is expensive. What we've discovered thus far is if you stay on top of the maintenance, like regularly, then it costs less. If you let it get out of shape, then it's going to cost you a lot more. So yeah, we're only at the moment spending, $100 a month on bits and bobs that we need. Which is nice. But yeah, the first time we got here, when we first moved in, it cost us like $400 to buy all the stuff we needed. So. Oh, g'day, Gone Beyond One. Well, I hope you pay Checker Rise soon, mate. Now, if you watch me stream, you probably already know this, but I'll say it anyway. Zumikito did a video on Painting Monday. And it's a wonderful video, so you should go check it out. Yeah, this is a good brush. This is a Winsor & Newton Series 7, size 2 maybe? Size 2. It's not holding as fine a point, it's holding a fine point, but it tends to splay out a bit more than I like and a bit more than I'm used to with Winsor & Newtons. But it does hold a lot of paint, so that's nice. It's a salt water. We've got a chlorinator. And yeah, so we just have to make sure the chlorinator runs frequently at the right times to make sure there's enough chlorine in it. We have to regularly fill it with salt when it runs low. When it rains, it's rained a lot recently, it adds a lot of challenges. Hey Mossy, come over and tell them about the pool. Come on. How much you like it? Good talk, Moss. Because I'm the intern. Little Scrubs joke there for... Craig's up. Oh, and the trailer for the new Scrubs season. How cool's that? So this guy's a fusion of the Dragon King and a Screaming Antelope. So he's got this radiation. So my Dragon King figure is green with a very fluorescent red vibe. So we're going to add some fluorescent red somehow. Just haven't decided how yet. One of these days. Played some absolutely amazing games over the last couple of weeks. I did a print and play version of a game called Radiance, which was a sort of a playtest version of the game. So that's on GameFound right now. Highly recommend it. I did followed up with that with another print and play of a game called Small Time Heroes, which is like Slay the Spire, but a more accessible board game version of Slay the Spire than the actual board game version that exists. And it's awesome. I played Grim Coven. I've played that twice now. It's awesome. I played Covenant, which is little dwarves in the mines of Moria. My cousin Balin will give us a royal welcome. Alright. I'll grab some light flesh, which is always a fun colour. So I'm always trying to do little like fur-ish sort of textures on these monsters. So I tend to leave kind of brush strokes in a very specific direction. Even though this guy's kind of more human skin than fur. I am unfamiliar with the time splitters. What are they? Yeah, cool. PS2. I did have a PS2. I reckon the only game I could recall from that time in my life is Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. I'm pretty sure that was PS2, and I'm pretty sure that I played the heck out of that game. I don't recall playing many other games on that. I couldn't tell you any of the other games that were on that module. So that one's the only one that's really stuck with me. I can rattle off about 50 Super Nintendo games that I played though. Wonder why that is. I wonder if that's because the Super Nintendo was my first real console that stuck with me. I'm not sure why that would be. Arc Raiders, what's that? Well, that's a good thing. I don't play many PC games or computer games at all really. The only ones I do tend to play are board game ports of board games. So I've always enjoyed my time doing things like this, painting models or playing board games, rather than the computer. No judgment on those who do spend their time playing on their computers, of course. It sounds like a game called Syndicate a little bit. Syndicate. Did you ever play Syndicate on the Super Nintendo? That was a banger. Alexa, airbrush on. Oh, we're out of that. What is the timing of that, Deno? Right when we're in the flow state. Alright, Tamiya at water. Flow improver. Well, I've gone a bit heavy on the flow improver. Jeepers. That is a little more aggressive than I normally go with the other stuff. Let's see how that works. Okay, I'm going to use this colour, which is called Duck Egg Green. And this is going to smooth out my blends just marginally, just fractionally. Alright, and now we're going to do some colour, which is a very important colour for this. It's this dark purpley colour. I'm pretty sure that it's Arbuckle's brown. That one I know. Ugh. The bombs will drop. So this is a funny story. This is my Arbuckle. No, this is Hasta Purple. My cat bit this one. Old Peaches. Missed that little rat bag. She was a good cat. She used to hang out all the time with me. There it is, Arbuckle's brown. Good cat. So this is a cool, like, dark purpley brown from Scale Fantasy. Really, really nice shade colour. Do I paint with any unpainted models? Good question. Yes. The majority of models that I paint with are unpainted. So I don't play King of Death with unpainted models. I have a rule on my channel that I don't film games with unpainted models, although I may be about to break that tonight at the request of my viewers. I'm running a poll at the moment on my channel to see if people would like what for my next game is, which is I've got a board game called Nemesis, which is fully painted, which I've actually never played on the channel, and I've got another board game which is called Uvia, which I'm not painting. My rule is it's unpainted is okay if the models are shit and I don't want to paint them. And that's the case with Uvia. Alexa, airbrush off. And a little human skin tone. Yes. And then the third option is Grim Coven, which is the game that just arrived that I'm very excited about but can't play. Here is an example of the models. This is a Striga. It's got this cool little plastic, see-through red plastic, which I'll have to try and mask off so that I don't ruin it. These models are really, really good. I want to paint them, and I want to do this red glow like I did on Cursed City. Do you remember when I painted Cursed City? This is a Technomancer. How cool is that? Fucks me how you paint that without getting shit everywhere. That's sick. Yeah, I painted Cursed City, right? I painted the whole fucking thing. I didn't even show off the big models. I'll show off the big models, they're fucking sick. Check this guy out. Booze Undead General. What a legend. Sick. This guy's called the Tormentor. What? Sick. Is the bad guys. And this is the Graveyard Dragon. Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team. So yeah, super cool models. Looking forward to painting them. Eventually. Okay, and we want to do these little plates. These little plates. G'day, Mose. So yes, feel free to go vote on my poll on my YouTube channel to tell me if you think it's okay to break my rule of unpainted models, just so we can play Grim Coven. If you don't agree with that and you think I should stick with painted, then you'll want to suggest a different game, probably Nemesis, which is fully painted, or Euthia, which has bad models and won't be fully painted. Currently, Grim Coven is winning the vote, so... I did a playthrough, non-recorded playthrough last night, just a practice run, to make sure I had the rules down, which I do, mostly. However, I have no idea how to film the game because it is almost as expansive as Kingdom Death in terms of how much stuff you need to film. Easy for you to say. Ooh, I'm not sure. I hope it's another angry orc fighter guy. They're always my favourite spearers. So I think, do I want to do the horns? I'm going to do the horns in the same colour as I did my Dragon King. And I think I actually did them in black. Yeah, black. Cool. Black. That'd be good. I'd like that. Yes, black is the go. So I'm going to do this bit in that red, in the fluorescent red. So let's do that. We'll just use the red from Chimera. And the eyes. Alright, let's do a few little hands. Wouldn't be a Kingdom Death model without some hands, or random genitalia, or both. Yeah, look, not so much. Not so much Mountain Goat. Although that's a very good band. I do like a number of their tunes. Have I got all the hands? Yes. Alright. Time to switch brushes. There is another mouth in there. That's great. Of white. Yes, so I am looking forward to getting some of these projects done. As I alluded to earlier, the overall vibe that I have at the moment is one of overwhelm. So it'll be good to just make some headway, get some things done. And yes, my philosophy, my motto, my saying that I come back to is we eat the elephant one bite at a time. It's always been one that I stuck to when I had my dioramas. So I'm sure I've mentioned it on here before. We don't focus on all of the stuff we've got to do. We just focus on the one thing we've got in front of us, and that's what this little guy is. He's the first piece that I need to paint to be able to film the vignette. And so that is why I've chosen to paint this guy. Yes, that sounds like an overwhelming thing. Have eaten gallons of ice cream, freezer. I don't think it's me. Yeah, no, I haven't dropped any frames. So that's not me, that's you. Mm. Next weekend, no, I'm not going to the test. I much prefer to watch test matches on the television. But a friend of mine is coming up from Melbourne for it. So that's not you, unless it is you. Are you coming up as well? I am still just filthy that the first test match of the summer is not at the Gabba. To me, that is a travesty. Are they teeth? No, I think they're just muscles. Don't worry, it'll make sense. The red on the chest. So the Nukealope has got radiation from the Dragon King, and my Dragon King's got the glowing red all over. So trust me. Trust the big dog. Or it may not work, it may be awful, but we'll find out soon. Yeah, it's got a face. It's got a head on there. Good reminder, actually. Thanks for that. I've eaten gallons of ice cream. Got to give the fluorescent red a solid mix. In my spiraling notebook, bum, bum, bum. But in the long tresses of your hair, I am a babbling brook. I'm literally singing a song from the Mountain Goats because of that comment before. Someone saying the Mountain Goats. This was a mountain goat. Okay, let's go. Let's get some fluorescent red happening. In my spiraling notebook, in the long tresses. Alexa, turn on the AC. No. Don't do that. Alexa, airbrush on. Damn. Oh well. Was getting a bit hot. Oopsies. It's pretty good. Yeah. That's not good. Just grab a little bit of blood red. Ooh, Doomfire magenta. No, Volupus pink, yes. Where's me red? There it is, Blood Angels red. Oh, still. Come on, Tenno. Dry. Nothing's right, I'm torn. I'm all out of faith. This is how I feel. Cold and I am shamed. Bound and broken on the floor. Illusion never changed into something real. I'm wide awake and I can see a perfect sky is torn. You're a little late. I'm already torn. Torn. It is, yes. Yes. I'm actually from Westlife. Alexa, airbrush off. Danke. I really love painting King Death models. I think they just have sculpting's phenomenal, right? And the casting or the plastic engineering is always great. The way that they are engineered to be assembled is generally quite clever. They generally don't have a lot of mould lines available, and if they are or visible, they're easily correctable. They've got really interesting details. They tend to have a lot of skin elements, which are always fun to paint. But probably the thing that I enjoy most is they've just got different things. You know, like you don't get to paint a lot of dongers in general, but getting to paint a dong is actually a really, like, it's a fun it's a fun thing to paint. You know, you get to do weird veins and different skin textures and all sorts of stuff, so that's great. And then you've got the old boobicles, always good. Yeah, just a really nice conglomerate of textures and things to paint, which is something I think people forget at times, is that we're supposed to enjoy painting. You know, it's supposed to be fun, and so painting stuff that's fun to paint will generally help that. I know it's a revolutionary thought, but there you go. G'day, Sammy. What's crappening? Agreed, Cragzog. Agreed. It's about painting interesting stuff. If you like interesting stuff, veiny dongers are very interesting to paint. There's no shaming of anyone in our stream. I had this observation the other day, and I'll share it on the stream, because the particular person I'm talking about is very, very minimal chance of observing this. But I was watching a live stream of a board game the other day, and the host of the game kept saying the expression, "ladies and gentlemen," and I remember a time in my life where I used to open my podcast with, "Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Oz Machine." And I had a boss a few years ago, quite a few years ago now, probably like 10, 15 years ago now, who basically said to us, stop saying ladies and gentlemen or guys, because it's less inclusive. So he used to say teen, and I've adopted friends. So I say friends instead of saying ladies and gentlemen, because it's a more inclusive way of saying hello to people. And I think that's a nice thing to do. I don't think that's a difficult thing for me to do. I don't really care what gender people want to assume. Good for them. Whatever you want is fine by me. And if I can just do something very small in just the way that I acknowledge people, that feels more inclusive, why wouldn't I do that? You know? That's not difficult for me. But anyway, I was watching this stream, and the host just kept saying "ladies and gentlemen," and it was actually irritating me. And I was like, "Why is that irritating me so much?" And I was the realization I had, or whatever, was just that, like, why wouldn't you be inclusive if you could choose to? But then I thought to myself, well, maybe that person, those people, aren't aware. Maybe they're not aware of that. Maybe that's a habit that they've had for a long time, and maybe no one's called them out on it. And when I reflected back, it was the fact that my boss called it out that changed the way I thought about it. And so I feel like we have a responsibility as people to look for that behaviour, and in a respectful and polite and, a way that's not bad, call that out. Say, hey, I love what you're doing. I love your enthusiasm. Here's a way that maybe you could make that enthusiasm be more appealing to more people. Indeed it is the likely answer, Craggers. But the 4 steps of competence, the first step is unconscious incompetence. So you are doing something that is bad, but you don't know that you're doing it. It is old as time, right? I'm not disputing that. But slavery was also old as time, and we sort of managed to get rid of that, didn't we? For the most part. Yes, and I'm not interested in causing people to feel bad about their own perspective or point of view, and I encourage people to feel however they want to feel, and enjoy their life in whatever way they choose to do so. It's my choice to attempt to be a better person today than I was yesterday. And if I can do that by saying something slightly differently in my conversations, then I will choose to do that. But anyway, so I'm contemplating just sending a message, and a private message, not a public comment on their post, just to say, hey, someone shared this feedback with me many years ago and it helped change the way I thought about things, so I'd like to share it with you. You can do with it as you please. I like to be optimistic. I like to think that the future is bright and promising and things will improve and get better. But one of the only ways that happens is if we acknowledge where we are. So, anyway, that's enough philosophy and life mentoring from me. Okay, paint liquor. Well, my radiation is red on my Dragon King, so that is the colour of my Dragon King. I think I did my Dragon King on camera. Maybe? No, maybe not. I don't know what I did on camera for my Kingdom Death. I feel like I definitely did the Gold Smoke Night because I did a video on that. But maybe my Kingdom Death stuff was just before I started streaming. Yes, it does. Well, that is true as well. shake it off, shake it off, ooh, ooh, ooh. Heartbreaker's gonna break, 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 break. He's gonna shake, 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 shake. I'm just gonna shake, 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 shake it off. Oh no, I've put black in me thing. What an idiot. I've done it on occasion where I've shaken it off camera, and it does look a little unusual. I've also shaken it on camera and lost control of the paint pot and flung it across the room a couple of times actually. I think it is someone clipped it at the time, maybe. I'd have to go and find it. It was at the old house. I was going to put together a little clip, a best of Deno clips, but then I thought to myself, well, actually I stream for about 2 to 3 hours, 2 times a week, and for me to put together best of content, there's probably only one thing an episode. Hello Valhalla. One thing an episode that's actually worth streaming, if that, clipping, and the only way to find that is to watch through all of my content, and so I decided that would not be a worthwhile use of my time. Welcome friends, welcome. It's Big Dano here. I paint little toys. If you haven't, see it, Sammy? If you haven't seen what I do, here is a diorama that I made recently. Bonjour! Bonjour from France. So this is what I do generally with my painting. I do big dioramas. We're about to start a new one, but this one is a slightly older one. Here is another one that I've done. We're just going to run through them all. We're just going to run through all the dioramas. There's about six of them. So sorry if you don't want to look at my cool dioramas. Go watch someone else's channel, because I think they're cool. Thank you. Well, thank you, Paint Liquor. You know, I don't reflect on how much I've achieved often enough, I think, personally. I know we have a laugh about it on here and we show off the dioramas quite a lot. But I've done like 10 of them. I've done like 10 things of that scale. That's a pretty cool achievement when you think about it. Pretty cool to be able to look back on my life and say, yeah, I had this cool passion for making toys, and I just did it. And last one, I promise. Yes, I did that one recently. That's my most recent one. Pretty soon we'll have the lizard men to do, which will be fun. So there you go. That's what I do. So if you enjoyed that, feel free to stick around and you'll see me do stuff like that. All right. This is a Kingdom Death monster. Yeah, this is actually a release that only came out very recently. It's called the Screaming Nukealope. It is a fusion of two other Kingdom Death monsters, the Screaming Antelope and a Dragon King. So the Dragon King has radiation, a lot of weird radiation, and that's what this red area on its chest is, the radiation. And I'm trying to kind of match the other one that I did, which is this. So this is the Screaming Antelope. So I'm trying to kind of replicate that a little bit in this. Yeah, g'day Plank. But adding the elements from the Dragon King as well. Good from you, good from you. Enjoyed that. He's got many mouths and many eyes. I don't recall ever hearing about that movie. Oof. Oh, speaking of great movies with Sam Neill, what about Event Horizon? Isn't that a banger? An absolute banger. I don't generally watch a lot of horror movies. It's not a genre that I gravitate towards. The ones that I do enjoy tend to be sci-fi versions. Sunshine, Event Horizon, The Sphere, similar. Yeah, I'm not against it. Just needs to be good, you know. All right, so I need to put the brown on the fur bits. There's only very few fur bits. That's probably not going to happen today. We need to put some highlights on the horns. That's probably not going to be today. Or maybe when I say today, I mean on stream. I'll probably do that later today. This area is going to get a wash with the red and then the glossy afterwards. What I can do now, I think, is the patented Big Deno Agaros Dunes wash over the bone areas. I read the Twilight books, and I'm not ashamed to say it. They were fine. They were fine. They weren't revelatory. They weren't bad. They were just fine. Yes, I think that's an assessment I would agree with. There's a lot of pretty interesting lore developed in the books that the movies can't quite capture. But yeah, it's fine. Enjoy, mate. Have a great day at the Melbourne Figure Painters Collective. I will not be attending. Yes, no, I will be heading off in a few short moments. Also, we have a family Christmas function to get to today, Mossy and I. Very excited. Love socialising. Just one of my favourite things to do. We're also going to go to the gym, you know. Mossy's very keen on the gym. Yeah, love it. Love being a social butterfly. Talking to someone on Messenger is so much easier to socialise. And so much more less obtrusive. You know? And I find this less obtrusive as well, because although I'm talking, no one's talking back at me. I don't have to feign interest. My mum does love a bit of Mariah Carey Christmas songs. Fuck me, we used to have that on all the time when I was a young man at the Dennison household. Christmas, Mariah Carey. All I want of Christmas is you, baby. I don't want a lot for Christmas. This is all I'm asking for. It is. I just want you for my own, more than you'd ever know. Make my wish come true, baby. All I want for Christmas is you, baby. All I want for Christmas is you, baby. We're getting there. All the lights are shining so brightly every day, so brightly, baby. And the sound of children's laughter fills the air. Hear those sleigh bells ringing. Santa, won't you baby? Won't you baby? You've done it. You've done it to me. Hey, here's a fun little observation that is always nice to reflect on. See this colour I'm using right now? This is the colour we started with. Isn't that crazy? It doesn't look like we started with this colour, but we did. This was our first colour that we painted on this figure. It's mahogany brown from AK 3rd generation. And we're going to match up the fur colour that we did on the Screaming Antelope, the very original Screaming Antelope figure. Alright, well, we are going to depart very shortly. So I hope you've all had a wonderful weekend thus far, and that it continues over the next few days. Good luck to anyone going to the Melbourne Figure Painters Collective today. Hope you're all enjoying Stranger Things. First episode down of the new season. Very enjoyable. Yes, and then the next... So I'm back tomorrow night, but it'll be playing a game. I'm probably going to play a game tonight on stream as well. And by the looks of it, it's going to be Unpainted Grim Coven. But I may change my mind. I may hold fast on my rule. I haven't decided yet. It's actually causing me physical pain because I want to play it. But I also want to paint it. And as I talked about, I've only got... I've got a lot of stuff that's causing me overwhelming angst around painting. So I figure if I remove the feeling of needing to paint Grim Coven, then maybe that will help me feel better about everything else. So it's kind of like a conscious decision to break my rules for the sake of my mental health. But we'll see. We'll see. I do feel like it's a point of difference for me, my decision to only play painted models on my channel. And given that it is my genuine love for painting toys, it's a tough one. Oh look mate, I can almost guarantee you that when I get to... It's a family Christmas thing today. We do it a month early so we can get out of all the other stuff that happens. We very rarely have time over that period, and this is an extended family one, so we have like 30 people. And trying to get that 30 people lined up and harangued together around Christmas is always hard. So this is a family one, so we're very likely to have Mariah Carey banging out anyway, mate. So you've just got it in there a few hours earlier, that's all. Alright, so that's our Screaming Nukealope. Almost finished. I reckon we got probably another half hour. We've got to do the horns. And we've got a few little details to do. And then we get to put the glossy red, which is going to be sick. I might tweak that a little bit as well. And just to... We've got a little bit more contrast, which is fine. Let's do a little bit more on that side of this one. And then we're off. And we're off to the gym. Alright. Enjoy. Have a great week. I'll catch you all soon. Big Town.